Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. This is another daily brief. This brief, I decided that I'm going to start putting the title, so if you're searching, you'll see the title to the brief. But this brief is entitled Dangerous Pointing and Scripture Abuse. Ponder on this, my brothers and sisters. 2 Timothy 2:15. Say, do your utmost to present yourself approved to Elohim, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. So we have an obligation to study the scriptures, my brothers and sisters. Study them in whole, because when we take them in part, we may find ourselves in error. And if we do unrighteously divide scripture, it is just like an act of rebellion. And it disrupts the movement of righteousness. Consider 2 Corinthians 3:6, who also made us competent as servants of a renewed covenant, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. So keep this in mind, my brothers and sisters. While we sling scriptures at one another and throw scriptures at one another, let us be mindful that we have an obligation to pray and be sensitive to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua, and let him guide us when using scripture. And consider John 5:39. You search the scriptures because you think you possess everlasting life in them, and these are the ones that bear witness of me. So the scriptures bear witness of the Messiah. Therefore it would be wise and incumbent upon us to yield in prayer and worship and study diligently. Be constantly in prayer, and let the Spirit of Yahushua guide us when it comes to using scripture, sharing scripture, imparting scripture on one another. Because so many people are throwing scriptures at one another to convince, control, manipulate, and all types of things. And these things are erroneous. They are as the sin of witchcraft. They are an act of rebellion. So make sure we study and pray, my brothers and sisters. Study and pray so that we know that it is the Spirit of Yahushua that's guiding us in accordance with the appropriate scripture that lines up with the action that's coming from the Spirit. So let us know that we know, and be rest assured that it is the Spirit of Yahushua that's guiding us when it comes to sharing scriptures. Otherwise, it's like just throwing words at one another, and it creates disruption. It's time, my brothers and sisters, to arise from the confusion, to rise from the arguments and debates. Reasoning? Sure, that's another thing. But arguing and debating scripture? Not necessary. And consider Isaiah 55:11. For in righteousness, Yah's word will not return to him void. Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. Ponder on these matters.